cool. You're our second guest.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah. Our first repeat guest
Nice.
here on the podcast. So I saw you posted yesterday on Facebook, and a bunch of people were sharing it and whatnot. But something's going on downtown with the food truck scene.
Yeah. So basically, the Syracuse Food Truck Association puts together a food truck rally in Clinton Square last year.
Okay, yeah.
It's something that we've been advocating for and lobbying for since we started in 2015. Like it's basically been what we've wanted to see happen, along with other things, but it's one of the main things we've wanted to see happen. So with the help of Councilor Michael Green, the food truck laws were changed last year from what I would consider really not good food truck laws.
Yeah.
It was $1,500. You got one spot, and that was it.
Yeah.
You couldn't move around. You couldn't do anything, right? So they made progress, right? They said, hey, this doesn't work. It's clearly not working. There's one person who's buying a food truck permit out of the 50 food trucks that are operating in Syracuse. So, like, what are we doing wrong? Let's look at it. So they changed it from $1,500 to $500. And then you were allowed to go to any of these designated blocks. The issue that trucks ran into is that if you try to go to a block, you actually can't park there. There's no policing, there's no signage, there's no, so there's no support behind it to actually go and park on these blocks, right? So while it was a huge step in the right direction because it paved the way for us to be able to put together this food truck rally, which I'll get into the nuts and bolts of how that ends up working. But there's still a lot to be done, and we continue to kind of have those conversations and lobby for more areas for food truck park, like designated areas for there's just a lot that should be done that's done in other areas that if you're progressive and pro food truck and you want to see food trucks, there's things that should be happening, right?
Yeah.
So the way that Clinton Square worked is that we got a block party street closure permit for Water Street. The same thing that the downtown farmers market or a festival or any special event that's kind of going on, they got to shut down a street. They have to pay for the meters for the day.
Really?
Yeah. So we end up paying for 21 days out of 365 that were there. We pay the city of Syracuse $5,000.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
That's how you close down a street and you buy the meters. I mean, I get it because it's missed revenue from the meters. I mean, I don't know if the meters are full all day or they probably are. I mean, that's like a pretty parked area.
It's a nice little spot to get
right
a
there,
spot at.
And it's a nice centralized area to kind of park and then go wherever you want to go.
Right.
So we pay for we put in our permit application, went through the whole process of the permit application, received an invoice from the city for the $5,000 for the 21 days, wrote a check, sent in the check.
Okay.
Everything's good to go.
All right.
The check was not cashed. We got a call. It says, hey, we want to sit down and discuss the food truck laws. And we're like, sure, let's discuss the food truck laws. Absolutely. We went there, and that turned into, we want to talk about reducing the days of Clinton Square. And we're like, why? Why would we want to reduce the days of Clinton Square? We should be talking about more opportunities, not less opportunities.
Yeah.
And there's some pushback from the downtown committee and some area businesses. That was pretty much what we were told. We don't really know what that entails.
Yeah.
We just know that there are people who are saying that this shouldn't be happening.
Right.
And we're like, well, I mean, it should be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the, if I don't know if you'll tell me, but who was the call? Who did you sit down with? Was it the mayor's office?
The director of business development, Eric Ennis was his name. Yeah. So we sat down with Eric, and I, don't think Eric is anti-food truck or anything like that. I think that they have to listen to what people are saying, from anybody who's involved in the city. So I get that. I totally do. I don't really understand the hypocrisy though, that it's okay for the downtown committee to host a farmer's market where they bring in food vendors. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
I do the same business on Tuesday that I do on Wednesday. So literally tell me what the difference is.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like just kind of baffled.
Yeah.
Like so what's the difference? So what, do those events need to go away? Do festivals need to go? Like what, or do we need to cut things down? Like I don't, so right now it's a consideration. Yeah. They're not saying this is what's happening.
Right.
But we just think the Syracuse Food Truck Association feels that it's extremely important that people know that this conversation is happening, and that they can let the city know, the downtown committee know, and the councilors know that they don't want to see less food trucks. They want to see a more progressive city. They want to see more food trucks, more locations, more availability, more, the food trucks are awesome.
Yeah, right. Most of them, most of them are really good. That's wild, man. I mean, last year it was this big thing. It was Michael Green up there with the press conference, and you and Pat, and I forget who else was up there with you. Standing there,
and Michael Green continues to be an advocate for this. I want to make that clear because we're telling people to contact the counselors, but like we want you to contact all of them and let them all know that you support this event, and show how you feel about it. Yeah. Because I feel like if you ask 9 out of 10 people, if they're in favor of a food truck rodeo, they're all going to say yes. Yeah, for sure. And I know a lot of business owners in the area who I've talked about this issue with to see, like I straight up have asked them. I've said, does this affect your lunch in a negative light? Do you feel like it hurts your business? And they've all told me no. Yeah. They've all, like, I talked to the owners of Sweet Praxis, and they literally said, wait, what day is it? Like she didn't even know. Like she was like, my business is fine on Wednesdays. Like, so, and people are going there for lunch. Obviously it's a bakery as well, but
for sure.
Yeah. So it's a little wild. Yeah.
I was talking about this with my wife a little bit last night and when we went to dinner, and she was like, well, yeah, I think she said, what did Rebecca say? Rebecca was like, no, there's, that wouldn't hurt local businesses. Like, well, it would hurt to the same degree that like a pizza shop opens up next door, like if there's a new business, that's going to hurt a little bit. But I think the food trucks also kind of bring out people who typically wouldn't go out to eat.
100%.
Not all of them, but I'm sure that there are a percentage of people who aren't going to go hit up one of the restaurants downtown, but the food trucks is something special, so they're going to not pack their lunch that day.
So we've heard. So now obviously we put this out there, and we've been hearing from all sorts of people about this, right? People who never go downtown. They literally come downtown for this event. They go and they find parking and they come to our event because they love that there's variety and all these things, right? People who are coming and meeting family and friends and stuff that work downtown. They're like, hey, let's meet at the food truck rodeo. Yeah. A lot of people who work downtown, they might not have enough time to go sit in a restaurant. Yeah. They go to a food truck, they can get food in a couple minutes and they can go on their way. That's one of the benefits of a food truck, right? Yeah. Is that it's fast service, and it's not going through the hustle and bustle of sitting down and trying to sit down and have lunch.
Yeah. Working downtown this past year, and 2 of my coworkers are both vegetarians, and it was awesome to have all of the trucks in a spot to have the rotating list. Because you could get something different each week. And it was my first time I got to get that big, awesome barbecue.
Yeah. Adam's got awesome food.
Yeah. And then
big, awesome.
And it was it was like right before he had stopped doing like the jackfruit. Yeah. Yep. And so they were able to get that.
Yeah. He had a vegan jackfruit barbecue sandwich.
Right.
Yeah.
It was so good that they were like, taste this and make sure it's not pork. Yeah. Because they were like eating it, and halfway through they're like, there's no way that this isn't. Yeah. And then obviously, he wound up having to get rid of it just because not enough people, I think, knew what it was. But it was just awesome, man. I absolutely love it. I'd love to see more seating down there eventually.
Yeah,
in the future and
definitely
stuff like
something we want to have that too. Yeah. We want to have more seating, and like the trucks can only fit so much stuff on their trucks, and so we've looked into like how do we bring in seating for the day, and how do we want to enhance it. We want to grow it. We don't want to hinder it.
Ooh, there might be something off air we need to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed a couple of comments people were saying like, Onondaga Lake, like, we'd love to have you over here and that kind of stuff. Have you guys ever talked to like Liverpool about doing anything?
Yeah, it's something to look into. The thing is, we don't want to replace with something else.
Right.
We wanna just grow it and do more events in more areas. I mean, we go all over the place. I mean, we're I did a interview yesterday, and they asked me how much does like Clinton Square actually affect Toss and Fire's bottom line, and I'm like, I mean, it's like 5 events, maybe 6 events. Like it's not, we're not there. It's a rotation. We have 20 something trucks, so we're all there. A handful of times. Like it's not that it is going to destroy my bottom line to take it away or to cut it down. It's that it's kind of what's right is right, and like why is it right for one person and wrong for another? That's what I don't really understand.
It really is crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, I hope that whatever happens with this, that it helps like kind of further the food truck scene in like different locations and events, but having it down there one spot once a week, it really is amazing. Yeah,
no, it's something that, like I said, we've been fighting for years, and that we want to see continue to grow. We want to see, we love to see the people that are coming down every week that are trying different foods, that are, that are discovering things they didn't even know existed. That's hearing that you had Big Awesome for the first time. You had that truck because you went to that event, because that event exists. Like it's supporting businesses, like all of these food truck businesses that would be unknown to so many people.
Right. I just wonder, I mean, obviously we don't know what local businesses or anything like that were the ones that, complained about it. I mean, we know one of them because he's been super vocal about it since day one. But who knows who the other ones were? Or if
I'm not sure. And I don't know how many there were and all that kind of stuff, but I knowing all the businesses I know, so I've talked to the ice cream stand, Water Street Bagel, PMA Foods, who's literally the closest restaurant to the food truck rally.
Where are they?
They're in the atrium building.
Oh, they are.
So he does like vegan mac and cheese and all kinds of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
He's literally in the building that we're parked in front of, and he loves it. He thinks it's great. Sweet Praxis, Recess Coffee, like these are all places that are super close to this area that would be directly affected from it, who are all for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the nice thing about Clinton Square is it's not like it's down in the center of Armory, or you know what I mean? Like there are obviously restaurants around there, but it's not like you're right on top of them.
No, and you're not allowed to be right on top of them. That's like a law in the
really?
City. Yeah, you're not like, you can't be, I don't know how many feet it is or whatever, but we're not considered on top of anything.
All right, so a decision hasn't been made from the city yet, but they're saying that they want to limit the amount of days.
So they're saying that they're considering limiting the amount of days. That they, one of the ideas was that, we should do it 1 week in Clinton Square and then move it to other locations, and like, so our view is that if you cut the frequency, that you kill the event. And we know this because we've cut frequency and killed events before. We've done things where we're every other week, or where we're inconsistent for whatever reason. I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that it can happen, but it does not work.
For sure.
The reason people continue to go down there is because they know it runs from this date to this date. It's every week, except there's 2 weeks we can't do Taste of Syracuse and before Blues Fest because they're setting up. And that's what it is. The schedule's out there. It's available. They know there's going to be a rotation of food trucks. They know, hey, Wednesday at this time I can get this stuff.
Did they propose like other locations in that meeting, or were they just like, we'll start to look?
Not really. No, no. It was like, well, we could do it at other locations, and we're like, all right, like what locations? We said somewhere in Franklin Square. I'm like, well, where? But there isn't a place.
No.
That's so like I would love to have food trucks in Franklin Square. I think that there's a lot of opportunities to grow food trucks throughout Syracuse. I think that, but I don't think that we should say, hey, let's cut this so we can grow this. Like why?
Yeah, for sure. I would, no, I agree with that 100%. And, if anything, I think they should be expanding it, into other days and having like one-off truck on this corner, doing stuff like that.
But they can't park on those corners because the blocks are completely full and there's no one to police it.
That's crazy. And
so
there's
availability. So like we'd have to like get somebody to literally tow somebody's vehicle.
Gotcha.
But there's not signage that says it's food truck only parking.
Gotcha.
So it becomes that, yes, these blocks are available. When you get a $500 permit, you are technically allowed to park on these blocks.
Okay.
But if we don't make it so we're actually allowed to do it, then really it's just a piece of paper.
So as simple as this sounds, is the city able to like? I mean, I know you can't answer this question because you don't work for the city.
I do not.
But logically, you would think that like the city would maybe like the day before, or put up "Do Not Park" by police order like they do for the films.
I mean, that's what they do for Clinton Square. They put up "Do Not Park" because we're renting the street. The problem is that when you get a block now, technically people should still be able to park there, right? Yeah. So what we'd like to see is it adjusted where there's X amount of space on those blocks that is food truck parking only this time to this time, right?
Gotcha, yeah.
So that our members can say, hey, I'm going to get a $500 permit and I'm going to go, Tuesday I'm going to plan to be here, and on Wednesday I'm going to plan to be here, and they can be available. There's just so many opportunities of areas that should have trucks, university, hospitals, the list goes on.
Yeah.
But
I would be, I think of like the movie Chef, and popping up in a spot and then tweeting out your location.
Yeah, that's not really allowed anywhere, unfortunately. They glamorized that a little bit. They got me. They hooked me on it because I watched that movie and I was like, I should start a food truck. Oh my God, it looks so easy.
And then you did a food truck. Because of the movie Chef. Yeah, man, that's awesome. All right, so let's talk about. If somebody's listening and they want to book a food truck for a wedding, a party, an event for their business this coming season, who do they contact?
So they can go to syrfoodtrucks.com. They can contact the association. If they want to see the list of trucks, they can look at the list of trucks, contact the individual trucks. If they want to say, hey, we want to bring food trucks to our business, they can reach out to us through that.
Cool.
We work with a lot of businesses that do that now.
Yeah.
Mostly outside of Syracuse, but all kind of the surrounding area.
Yeah.
This is just kind of one portion of what we do and what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And, like I said, man, we want to see food trucks grow in Syracuse.
Yeah.
We want to see, we don't feel that 21 days out of 365 days should feel like it's such a threat.
Right.
We've always kind of had the view that competition is a good, healthy thing that makes everybody better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I agree with that. All right. So besides just going on, they can go on Facebook and find, you've shared it from Toss and Fire and from the Syracuse Food Truck Association's page, but what should people do if they want to, let the city of Syracuse know that they don't want the food truck rally to change?
Yeah, so they can contact. We have a list of everybody that you can contact. Basically, it's the downtown committee, the common councilors, and then like the mayor's office, and Eric, who is the business development person.
Yeah.
Those are the people to kind of let know that you support trucks, you want to see trucks, you want you don't want to we don't want to go backwards. We don't want when I started there were no food trucks in Syracuse because they really made it impossible. At that point, it was like, here, pay us $1,500 and then this spot might be okay.
Right.
So I'm very, very thankful that they've taken that and they've changed it for the better. Right.
Yeah.
I just want to see it continue.
Yeah. It really is backward. It's so dumb. There's just so many weird things that still happen when it comes to stuff like this that you would think somebody would just look at it and say, well, this is going to help us, so why don't we just go ahead and whatever. I guess it's all about who you know and all that kind of stuff. But
I hope that it would be that we would be able to go through the process, get the permit, do what we're supposed to do, just like the downtown committee.
Yeah.
Taste of Syracuse, Blues Fest, all these places that do this stuff, why would ours be any different?
Yeah.
That's like the question.
Yeah.
Why is ours any different?
Right.
Why do we have to talk about cutting it down when it wasn't an issue before?
Right. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get it all changed and, get their mindset right over it.
I'm
the city
hopeful
of
that we
Syracuse.
can that we can that they see that the people care about this, and that it's
right.
I don't know how many people are calling and emailing and all that kind of stuff. I think that a lot are.
Yeah.
I think that there's been a lot of likes and shares. I mean, the post has reached like 15,000 people
That's
or
awesome.
something in less than a day.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's obviously an issue that people care about.
Yeah.
And I just think that's important that they know that it's an issue people care about, that it's it's important.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, well, cool. Well, thanks for coming down today and taking time.
Appreciate you having me.
You got a busy weekend, so
of course.
thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.